Oh, hello. Fancy seeing you here. I'm Jay and I need to get fit. Specifically, I have a half marathon to train for later this year. I want to know if AI can help me prepare a fitness plan, consider my personal health challenges, and ultimately design an approach for me to follow over the coming months as I prepare for the event. Last year, I was signed up to run the Great North Run, one of the biggest half marathons in the UK held in the north of the country in Newcastle. Unfortunately, while I was training, I sustained an injury, a fairly nasty tear of my calf muscle, and as a result, I had to defer my place to this year. The event is now 5 months away, and it's about time I started my training. I'm somewhere in the region of 2 to 3 miles fit, running a casual pace of approximately 11-minute miles, and my aim is to complete the event without injury rather than any specific time. Although if I do find myself in the position to aim for speed, I would like to get under the 2 hours and 20 minute mark, which is my previous best. Now, I'm no athlete, which is probably quite apparent, and having turned 41 this year, I'm more aware than ever of my need to get on top of my fitness. I have trained for events before, completing the London Marathon back in 2016, but that's the last time I really did anything like this. So if I've trained before, and I know how to do this, why use AI this time? Well, in my working life, I spent a lot of time working in and around generative AI, specifically over the last 18 months. I'm not heavily technical. My work has revolved around evaluating externally available tools, or working through governance side of AI, risk management, as well as running some innovation and R&D projects. But in my personal life, I haven't utilised the tech as much as I would like, because frankly, I want to break from it when I down tools on the evenings and weekends. But recently, I decided to sign up to ChatGPT Pro on the recommendation of a friend. I wanted to try GPT-4, get access to DALL-E 3, and also try the GPT library that you get access to as part of subscribing. Which reminds me, while you're here, and if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you did. If you somehow haven't come across ChatGPT yet, then there are loads of great videos across YouTube that will explain it in great detail. For now, I will simply say that it started a revolution in the tech industry. One very similar to the rise of the internet or the emergence of the smartphone. It has the potential to change a lot about how we work and live. It's a form of AI that can create new content and summarise large volumes of information very quickly, amongst a whole load more. ChatGPT is the conversational side of the offerings from OpenAI, and it allows you to have natural language conversations on your desktop or mobile device with the AI. You can access the tool for free and get many benefits. If you pay for the Pro membership, which is currently $20 per month, then you get a little bit more. At a high level, you get access to GPT-4, OpenAI's more powerful large language model. You get access to DALL-E 3, OpenAI's text-to-image tool. And you get access to the GPT library of more specially trained and tuned models that perform specific functions like long-form writing, workout advice, cartoon image creation, and much more. You also get browsing, which basically means that ChatGPT can access the internet using Bing. The free version is constrained to the data used to train the model, which was valid up to around 2021. But with Bing, you get access to much more up-to-date information from across the web. All of this, combined with the likely addition of the impressive Sora AI, OpenAI's new text-to-video model, coming to this membership bundle in the future, meant that it was the right time to pull the trigger and get subscribed. So with all of that said, we'll do something a little different from my usual content. I'm going to jump straight into ChatGPT Pro and see how it can help me to form a suitable training plan to get me fit for the half marathon. Okay, so here we are. You can see my desktop now, and you can see ChatGPT. As you can see, I am subscribed to the Pro account, which means I do have the ability to toggle between GPT 3.5 or the GPT-4 model, which is the one that I was keen to get access to. And you can see it also mentions here that that comes with DALL-E, browsing, and analysis. Over on the left-hand side, I've got the option here to explore GPTs, and these were the pre-tuned GPTs that I referenced earlier. And you can see there's all sorts of interesting stuff in here. We've got things that will help you with creative endeavors. We've got stuff in here that'll do image creation, writing, productivity, and there's also a bit further down, we've got a health and well-being one. So we've got this option here called Gym Streak Workout Creator. Now, I'm not going to be using that. I am going to stick to vanilla ChatGPT for the purposes of this activity, but it might be that it would be worth running some of the same prompts through that particular model to see if I get any more specific or improved results. So I'm going to start off by first of all giving GPT a little bit more information about me to help it with some of the shaping of my my prompts and the outputs. So under the settings menu, which I appreciate is currently obscured by my head, but trust me, there's a small settings menu and an option called Customize ChatGPT. When you do that, you can see that it brings this screen up. Now it's given me some ideas of what I can do to tell it what I'm after, and these are kind of meta prompting. So if you're not familiar with what that means, meta prompting is basically the art of putting prompt data into the back end so that you don't have to repeatedly tell the system the same information over and over again. One of the key things when using these sorts of solutions is to really craft your prompt accordingly. The more data you give it, the more information you provide, the more context you can give, the better the output ultimately. So in this instance, I'm going to give GPT a little bit of extra information to help with this journey. So I'm going to say I am looking to run a half marathon soon, as well as getting fitter and improving my overall muscle mass and endurance. I am 41 years old. I do a desk job and have a limited amount of time to work out around my family commitments. Now, I could continue to go on here and add lots more information. I'm going to leave it at that for now, and I will probably use some of this information in my prompts as well as I move forward. But I'm going to save that and then get on with a new chat. So I'm going to flick back to ChatGPT, and here is my prompt, and we're going to start the conversation off. The first thing that I want to do is to give it the context for the event that I'm looking to run, when it's taking place, and again, just to reiterate some of my current fitness levels. So I'm going to say I am looking to run a half marathon in the UK on the 9th of September. And I would like you to build me a training plan to help me prepare and get fit. Now, I'm going to give it a bit of context. So I mentioned earlier my levels of fitness. So I will say I can currently run for around 2 to 3 miles and I'm running an average 11-minute mile. That'll be useful in understanding where I need to build from and the base that I'm working off. How about when I can train? So I can train 3 to 4 times a week around my current commitments. And I'm going to be specific on how I want this laid out now. So I'm going to ask it to provide this in a tabular form. So can you write me a training plan and put it into a table format by week and by day? So we'll give that a go and we'll see what it comes up with. So I've sent the prompt. You can see straight away, incredibly quickly, it's off and running now. So it's creating me a training plan for my half marathon on the 9th of September. It's tailored to my current fitness levels and time availability. And it involves gradually increasing my mileage while incorporating rest days to prevent injury. So it says, given your current ability at 11-minute mile pace, it's structuring me a plan accordingly, and it's off and running now. So what's the training plan overview? So running workouts, these will vary in distance, gradually increasing each week to build endurance. There's some cross-training activities like cycling, swimming or walking focused on improving cardiovascular fitness, and some rest days critical for recovery and muscle repair, something I wasn't doing enough of when I tore my calf last year. So here's a simplified 20-week plan leading up to the half marathon. So let's have a little look. Mondays is always going to be kind and a rest day according to this. And on Tuesdays, we can see here that I'm going to start off with 2-mile runs over the first couple of weeks, gradually increasing that to a maximum of 4 and then mixing and matching. Wednesdays will be a cross-training day, and then Thursdays again we're running but slightly longer distances than on the Tuesday. And then the Saturday looks like the weekend day where we're really building those miles. So you can see we're going from 3, 4, 5 and then all the way up to 12 miles by the midpoint by week 10. I had hoped it would plot some dates against this, but it hasn't done that, and maybe I can ask it to do that later on. Then there's some tapering. We are at one point, it looks like, going as far as 15 miles, which is interesting because that's way beyond what I need to be able to run for the half marathon. So that's quite interesting. So for those who don't know, a half marathon is just over 13 miles. So we'll see. Now, what I would like to do is actually understand how it can incorporate some routine for me around weights and improving my cardio and gym work, basically. So let's ask an additional question. So while training, I would like to build my overall muscle mass and improve overall cardio levels. Can you recommend a set of routines that I can do to train my arms, legs, chest and back around my running commitments? You present this in a similar table. So to complement your half marathon training, incorporating strength training exercises will help build muscle mass, enhance your overall cardiovascular health, etc. So strength training plan, reps and sets. Aim for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps for each exercise. If the last few reps aren't challenging, consider increasing the weight. Rest, take 1 minute rest between exercises. So we've got weeks 1 to 4, upper body, lower body. You're going to break those down for me? It is. Great, here we go. Been pretty solid. So we've got an upper body routine, we've got a lower body routine. What's the upper body doing? Some push-ups, some dumbbell rows, some dumbbell bench presses, bicep curls and tricep dips. Okay. And then we've got squats, lunges, deadlifts. I struggle with deadlifts, so I've got a back problem, but we'll see how that goes. Calf raises and planks. Oh, my absolute favourite. So this plan, it says, is designed to be flexible. Adjust the days as needed to fit your schedule, ensuring you have adequate rest between your strength training and longer runs. One thing I am going to ask it to do now, just to slightly change this, is that typically for me, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays are easier to train and get down the gym. I'm going to ask it to just modify the routine based on that. So can you modify my routine so that training days are on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, as well as a long run at the weekend? I cannot easily get to the gym on Tuesdays or Thursdays. So let's see now if it's intelligent enough to work back over the chain of conversation we've had and to replan that training activity. So it's having a go, and this is the beauty of ChatGPT. Because it's conversational, it remembers the conversation that you've had and it's able to reference that. So it'll be interesting to see now if it's able to rebuild that full plan. What have we got here? Strength upper, rest, strength lower, rest, run, rest and long run. Okay, we've got running. So on this basis, we'll be doing weights on Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll be running on Wednesdays, Fridays, and then Sundays. And that could work. What I'm keen not to do is to have too many back-to-back runs stacked, because I think that's where I went wrong last time. So let's have a little look. I think this is interesting. I need the running plan in terms of the miles back in, but I can probably weave that in from earlier on. What's it saying about the run days? So strength training details, upper body strength training Mondays, lower body strength training integrated with a run on Wednesdays. I'm not sure how wise it is to do leg weights and run on the same day. So it might be that there's some changes to make there, which is, I feel like that's logical. Run days, Wednesdays and Fridays, and then a long run on Sunday. Now, if I was to alternate leg day onto a Monday and potentially do the runs, upper body on Wednesday with a run, that might work better. Although it does mean then doing legs the day after the long run, which also might not be that sensible. Maybe it'd be okay to run and then do leg weights. We'll see. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with where this is getting me to so far. And I'll be interested to give some of those strength exercises a go. I might get it to expand that and maybe split my upper body days and do 3 lots of weights in the week. We'll see how we go. So one of the things that I also struggle with is that I am type 2 diabetic, which means that certain foods that might normally be good, like carb loading for normal athletes or kind of people training for an event, is not so suitable for me. So I'm going to ask it to give me some ideas around a diet, basically. So can you recommend some suitable snacks and meals / recipes for supporting this training plan, but being considerate to my health challenge, which is that I am type 2 diabetic. Let's see what we get. So, individual managing type 2 diabetes, it's crucial to focus on meals and snacks that help maintain stable blood sugar. That is correct. A balanced diet rich in fibre, lean protein and healthy fats, and low in added sugars is good. So that is all making sense. Now, what I'm not seeing here is any focus on how this is playing into the training aspect. So it seems to be going off on a tangent here and giving me lots of food ideas, but I don't know how many of these are going to be particularly useful for training and energy levels and things like that. Now, I can eat some carbohydrates. I'm not completely off all of these food groups, but this looks a little bit more generic than I was hoping. So I might ask it to focus those recipes on helping me with energy and training needs. So what does it say at the end? These suggestions are designed to provide balanced nutrition that supports both your half marathon training, and diabetes management. Remember, individual needs can vary, etc., etc. Let's have a little look. Let's see if that is true. So snacks for stable blood sugar: Greek yogurt with berries, so a high protein snack. Yeah, okay. I mean, that protein is good when you're training. Apple slices with almond butter. Fibre in the apple and the healthy fats in the almond butter can help prevent blood sugar spikes, making it an ideal snack. Yeah, fair enough. Veggies and hummus. None of this sounds overly filling at the moment, so we'll see how we get on. And it hasn't recommended anything like protein powder or anything like that, so maybe that's okay as well. Nuts and seeds. A handful of mixed nuts or seeds provide healthy fats, protein and fibre. Again, yeah, all good. Cottage cheese. I think I'll be giving that one a miss. I'm not the world's biggest fan of cottage cheese. And then some meal ideas for breakfast. High protein omelette. I intermittent fast. That's just something I've done now for a number of years, so I don't typically eat breakfast, but I'm used to kind of transitioning breakfast like meals to my sort of lunch period, and it might be as part of my training I do need to start having some breakfast on training days. We'll see how we get on. So breakfast, high protein omelette. Yeah. Lunch, quinoa and black bean salad. That doesn't sound the most appetizing, but we'll have a look. Maybe I'll dig into this a bit. Now, grilled salmon isn't going to work for me. I don't really like fish, so I might have to look at that one. Maybe we can sub out the salmon for some chicken or something else. Sweet potato, though, all good, and greens. General tips: hydrate well. I definitely don't drink enough water. Monitor portions. Been a lifelong challenge for me. Plan ahead. I definitely find planning ahead with my meals makes a big difference, and for a long time I've made weekly overnight oats. Found that really useful. And consult a professional. Okay, now I could come back in and continue to interrogate, and one of the things I've seen a lot of people do is actually come to ChatGPT with a handful of ingredients and say, make me a recipe with this. So I could try that with some of my fridge contents as well. Now, the final thing I want to have a look at is my metabolic age. Now, I will flash up on screen while I'm talking now a preview of the app that comes with my gym membership, and they've got like a body scanner. And I've scanned my body now regularly over the last few years, and my metabolic age has always been horrific. And I'll be honest and say I've never really tried to tackle it. So my metabolic age is 56, which is not good, because I'm 41. My wife, conversely, who's 5 years younger than me, has a metabolic age of a teenager, and I've no idea how or why, because frankly, she exists on a diet of biscuits. So I want to understand how I can reduce that. So I'm going to say I have a higher than normal metabolic age of 56. What can I do to reduce this? Right, so it's quite generic. Let's have a look. So metabolic age is a comparison between your, basal metabolic rate, your BMR, and the average BMR for your age group. So if your metabolic age is higher than your chronological age, it might indicate that you need to improve your metabolic health. Reducing your metabolic age can generally be achieved through lifestyle changes that enhance your overall fitness and health. Here are key strategies to consider. Increasing physical activity is something that I'm going to be doing as part of my training, so that hopefully will help. Improving my diet quality, so focusing on a diet rich in whole foods, including vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, whole grains and healthy fats. Well, again, I'm going to have to do that by the looks of this, both from a training benefit and a diabetes management piece. That's good. Staying hydrated. Again, I said earlier I don't do that, so that's interesting. Getting adequate sleep, so poor sleep can negatively affect your metabolism. I get a reasonable sort of 7 hours a night, I think. Pretty comfortable with that. Quality of sleep's questionable, but I think we all suffer with that, and it gets worse as you get older. Managing stress, I'm pretty okay there, I think, in terms of chronic stress. Everyone's got a healthy amount of it with work these days and all of the stuff that goes on in life, but I wouldn't say that's a major problem for me. Regular health checkups. So I do have regular checkups because of my diabetes, although it doesn't check absolutely everything, so there might be something to think about there. Intermittent fasting, how interesting. So evidence suggests that intermittent fasting can improve metabolic health. I haven't found that yet, but that is probably because my diabetes counteracts the insulin resistance challenge there, so I'm not getting those benefits. Interesting that it says that it's important to consult with a healthcare professional before starting any fasting regime, especially if you have type 2 diabetes. Okay. And then monitor your progress. Keep track of your fitness progress, dietary habits and body composition changes. Tools like smart scales and fitness trackers can provide insights into your metabolic age over time, which is what I've been doing anyway. So actually, nothing too overwhelming there. I guess we'll just have to wait and see whether the training and the changes in the diet have any meaningful effect. I will also say, and I'm quite happy to discuss this, I currently weigh in at around 110 kilos, which is about just sort of 17.5 stone for anyone who works in stone and pounds. So, which is arguably the lightest I've been for quite a long time. But I'm hoping that through this training and some healthy eating, that actually I may see that number come down a little bit more. So we'll see again. And I'll be very happy to share through my progress updates whether the increase in endurance and the weight training, which of course will potentially counter the weight loss because you gain more weight with the weight of muscle. But we'll see whether the metabolic age or the weight goes up or down and what those changes in my overall body composition look like as we go through this journey. But I'm pretty happy with that as a start for 10. So away from this video now, I'm going to go back, look at the plan that it's given me, and then I will start to look at beginning that training as early as next week. So we'll see how we get on. But yeah, quite happy with that so far. Maybe there's a bit more digging in to do. So there you have it. I now have some training advice and a routine to follow. I'll be giving this a go for real as part of my prep, and I'll provide monthly updates on the channel of my progress. I'll be measuring my success based on my overall endurance for the running aspect, as well as the gains in the weights and any possible reduction in my metabolic age. I am not an expert, which is probably very obvious, so please do not rely on anything that either I or ChatGPT has said I should be doing as part of my training. If you are into your fitness and want to provide me with any important advice or comments on what AI is telling me to do, then please let me know down in the comments. I hope you found this interesting, and if you like this sort of content, then please leave me a like and let me know down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, then as I said earlier, I'd really appreciate it if you did. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.